We are back once again with the Breakdown Podcast. It is Sunday, May 10th. It is also Mother's Day.
Yes, it is.
Skate, how are you doing, brother? It is Witty Calf, joined by the man that I just called out and shouted out, Mr. Skate Action. How we doing today, brother?
Man, I'm doing good. We are recording super early because it's Mother's Day, so I've got the coffee right here, right next to me to get me through the show. So I got to have my morning cup of coffee because I'm old like that. But yeah, we're going right along here. The weather's been wacky in Indiana as we give you the weekly weather report. It got cold yesterday. We had a frost warning in the morning. That was wild.
So did we. Like an hour north of where I am. I'm near Philadelphia. They had snow.
Oh my!
And today
Mother Nature must have got COVID or something. I don't know what's going on.
Makes no sense at all. 2 days ago it was 70. No, 3 days ago it was 70. Thursday was like 35. Yesterday there was some snow showers. Today it's going up to 62. And it'll be 62 degrees from like 2 to 12 a.m. tonight.
My word.
It's supposed to get colder at nighttime. I have no clue anymore. Nothing makes sense
weather? Yeah,
anymore.
Well, yeah. Welcome to Plague World. This is what we do.
This is what we get.
Yeah. As we're getting rolling here, I didn't put it in the notes, but I think we should address last week and what happened. The fact that there was not an episode last week. Technically not true.
Yes, we did record one.
There was an episode. There were a grand total of 2 viewers last week. So what happened? We recorded the episode, and as I do, I go and get to chop it up and throw it on the YouTube and in the podcast feed, and come to find out that only one of the audio tracks actually recorded when we recorded the episode. And that was the audio track that has the intro music and the bed track that you can hear in the background. So there was no talking, and it was just Witty and I just silent, just chatting. So that's what happened. Apparently, when I had updated OBS, it had switched profiles. And when you set up your profiles in OBS, some of you might not know this, you can have individual profiles. I have 2 profiles set up. I have one for my personal streams, and I have one for the CGL streams. Both with the individual settings for streaming out to the CGL channel or to my own channel. That way I don't have to keep switching the stream keys. It's a neat little feature within OBS if you have to broadcast to multiple channels. With that, apparently the actual settings in OBS as far as like what tracks are recording, streaming settings, things like that, are individual for each profile. So I found that out the hard way, and come to find out when I did a personal stream yesterday, the bit rate is also a thing. So I was not pushing out the normal bit rate for the first 20 minutes or so of this stream until I noticed. So just one of those things you find out when you're changing things and updating things.
Do you think, is that something you'll have to remember for every OBS update?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I think I just got to check, because now the profiles are almost synced as far as like the audio settings. It's one of those things I didn't have it on my personal for a while. I switched to OBS for my personal streams lately, from Streamlabs to just OBS. I now use OBS with Stream Elements built into it, which I kind of like a little bit more, but it's a personal preference thing. So, yeah, that's what it is. I'm using OBS for everything now, so it shouldn't be an issue going forward.
It's full-blown OBS now. That's good.
Yeah. I really like what Stream Elements is bringing for those streamers out there that maybe just use Streamlabs and haven't looked into it. It's very intuitive. You can have different overlays and setups actually on the web browser set up, and so it's all stored on the web, and you just add a browser source to your stream software, and it just pulls it all from the web.
Oh crap. Well, I know I'll be coming to you when eventually I get my PC built, which I have boxes of like 3/4 of it just sitting in the corner of my room that I've had for about a year and a half.
Hey, I upgraded my RAM yesterday. This is the packaging from it. So it was. I did it. I opened it on stream too, which was wild. It showed up in the middle of the stream. The packaging was weird. For whatever reason, the RAM was in there backwards. So It's the G-Skill Ripjaws series. As you can see at the top of the thing there, it says Ripjaws. So it's got that logo across the heatsink on the RAM.
Yeah.
In the packaging, that side was face down, so you couldn't see that side. So it's just like blank.
Nothing is normal.
I tell you what, this outbreak is really messing with things. I can't handle it.
It's hitting every field, every person. We're all drunk. 2020.
Yeah,
is
that's
drunk.
all it is. It's probably like the
first time we got drunk.
At this point, I think it's the virus from The Walking Dead. Everybody has it. It's just waiting to get activated when you die.
Yeah, right. We're all just biding our time for now.
Yeah, and I do want to mention for those on the video podcast, I am rocking the Rockstar Games t-shirt in honor of Red Dead Redemption 2 coming to Xbox Game Pass. It is now on Game Pass. You can, if you have it, you can play Red Dead Redemption 2 for free now. Huge news as of Thursday, I think, the 7th.
I might have to get involved in that.
Yeah, I think I need to play Cowboy Man.
Red Dead Redemption was how my roommates and I spent a lot of our nights sophomore year of college. Very, very fun times, and so heard a lot of good things about Red Dead 2. South Park made an episode about it too, so that's always a good sign. So our show this week will be like a hybrid of what we talked about last week that you weren't able to hear, and some newer topics, because there were some more announcements and some more updates to some of the topics that we discussed last week. This is a topic from last week. Overwatch came out with hero pool changes, and that was a big thing for the past week. It's now determined by Overwatch League usage. For competitive, it is Grandmaster and Masters only. And the impact it has on CGL, we mirror comp, so there's no bans in Week 8. When introduced back into comp, only tiers 4 through 6 will have them. But just a reminder, hero pools are not used in playoffs or finals. So we really only get about 1 week of hero bans in the regular season. Well, for 4 through 6.
What it's looking like, because we're doing the hero pools a week behind now, and we didn't know this last week, so this is actually kind of better. It doesn't look like there will be hero bans for the last week either, as it looks like they are waiting a patch or two before they get those hero bans out to people and into the game. So it doesn't look like we will have hero bans in the rest of the CGL season.
Bye-bye, hero bans.
It's the Wild West. In honor of Red Dead Redemption 2 coming to Xbox Game Pass.
Skate, were you a fan of the bans? I know that this came out, and I know it was all talked about and discussed before they were implemented.
Right.
What were your thoughts on them, and how do you think this will affect later tournaments or even just competitive play?
Yeah, I've got a few opinions on it. As far as hero bans overall, I was a fan. I liked it. I thought it changed the meta. It made it a moving target as far as the meta goes. So you had people that had to play off of roles, and I don't like the way Overwatch has implemented it, if I can be short about it. At first I liked it. They were separate, and you were basing it off of what the pick rates were in competitive and in OWL separately. They then backtracked and decided, no, we need to make it consistent across all of them, and we're going to make the competitive hero bans that you see in your Overwatch client match those in OWL so that everybody's on the same. And that actually seemed to make a little sense to me. I was like, okay, that makes sense, where we're going to make the product that we're putting out on our YouTube gaming platform match what is, going out to the client, and people can play at home. It's the same hero bans. That being said, they immediately backtracked again. I think 2 weeks later. I wouldn't count the amount of days. You can almost count it in hours, where the Overwatch team decided that, no, we're not going to do that now. Now it's just going to be for these certain tiers, and these lower tiers, they can pick whatever. And I'm not a huge fan of the inconsistency across all the tiers. I think the game should be played the same regardless of the tier. I mean, the game should be the same from top to bottom, regardless of your ability. You should get the same, experience, as it were. But that being said, where it really affects is, you get into those probably gold, platinum, and even some of the diamond tiers where you have a lot of part-time players that come in and want to play a little bit of competitive on the weekend, and they maybe they one-trick Tracer, or they one-trick Mercy, and that's just kind of what they do when they play. They just play that one character. Now they don't have to worry about that character being banned. So I guess from that perspective, it's a good thing. So there are some good and bad takeaways from that. Now, on the competitive front, I would rather see no bans at all in any kind of organized play. Just for the fact that I want the top teams to be able to do what they do best, and I don't want them to be handcuffed in any certain way and not be able to play a certain character. For a regular season format, I think that's fine. You can do that and mix it up throughout the season. But our playoff, we will talk about playoffs a little bit more in detail, I think, later. But for the current competitive season that we have going, we're not going to have those hero bans in the playoffs or finals, which I think is the absolute right way to do it. We don't want these teams to be, to get they may be the best team, but they got eliminated because one of their players, has to play, I don't know, McCree instead of Ash, and they're not as comfortable with the kit on McCree or something. I don't know. That's the way it goes. And they were banning heroes in bunches that actually kind of went together, which I didn't really like either. Where you would see like McCree and Ash both banned at the same time. So if you needed a hit scan, it's like, well, I guess I can play Soldier.
Good luck. Like week 2 when they banned like 4 hit scan, and it was just like Farah everywhere. It was like, oh, well, yeah, no one can kill her, so might as well play her.
Yeah, and I think Mercy was still eligible too, so it's like, oh, we're just running pharmacy everywhere. Okay. Yeah. It's bad enough I don't have a hit scan to really hit her with. She has a pocket? This is stupid.
Yeah. It's like, oh, that's great. Thanks. I feel the same way that you do. I'm glad it should. I do think it should be mirrored across everything. You want to play the same game that you play at the highest level. Even down at the lowest level. It's, I don't know, it's just common sense and normal logic to me. Glad there's not going to be any of that in the playoffs, because as you said, the playoffs are where if you get eliminated, it should be because that team was better than you that day. Not because your DPS players, both of their mains and secondary characters, are banned for the week and they're playing on lesser heroes. So I'm glad that is out of the question for that, and it'll be interesting to see what happens later in the following competitive seasons with this and how it works out. I do know in comp that it goes like the lobby average. So if you're that fringe player, like almost at master, but not quite there yet, if the lobby average is masters, then it'll have them. If not, then it's free to go. So it'll be interesting how that all plays itself out. And who knows, maybe 2 weeks from now they're making another change to it.
Who knows?
We'll see.
Nobody knows at this point.
Overwatch devs, the dev team did say they were a little back ago, that they were going to make some more frequent changes while they're working on Overwatch 2. And hey, they're not lying. They're just changing the same thing every 2 weeks. So it still works out. It's still fun. We'll see where it goes. And I don't know. It's got to work out. We can hate it now, but it could turn out to be the best thing that's ever happened to the game. So we will see about that. Last week, when we talked about the next topic here, as we transition to the new system, Xbox Series X, they released the trailer, a cinematic trailer for Assassin's Creed Valhalla last week.
Yes.
This week they had a gameplay live stream with some titles. I paid attention because I saw a Madden video with Patrick Mahomes sitting on his couch. And
my Mahomie,
how hype he is. Good man, Patrick, Mr. Kermit himself. And they showed some things and it looked a little crisper. And I guess I'm excited because their thing so far that they're preaching is it's not about just seeing, it's about feeling this
Yeah.
year. So we'll see. But just with what I saw from the cinematic of Assassin's Creed,
Yeah.
if that is what we're going to get out of these new consoles, uh everybody just buy the console because you're in for a treat. It's basically a computer that is
Yeah.
now a console. The space, the RAM, everything, the graphics, the FPS is all the top of the line.
Yeah.
And these games are going to look beautiful. They're going to very much suck you in and immerse you into the environment that these games are pushing for. I think this is a great sign of things going forward, and I'm super excited for Xbox. I didn't get to check any of the gameplay live stream, but I definitely see going forward every few weeks here we're going to get a little more and more and more. And I'll tell you right now, I'm ready to buy one. I'm ready for the holidays so I can spend some money on this because it looks phenomenal.
Yeah, it really does. The big takeaway I had was the graphics look fantastic. It's not going to be the huge step that that some of us older folks are used to seeing, like when we saw something like the Super Nintendo jump to the Nintendo 64, which was an insane jump. We're like, what is this that we are seeing with our eyeballs? And then you jump to like the PlayStation 2 to PlayStation 3, and you had that kind of introduction into the high definition. It's like, okay, now we're making grounds, and now it's just you can see the difference if you put them side by side and kind of slow mo and frame by frame. You can see the difference, and the games look fantastic. The takeaway I had, and it's my biggest pet peeve with these announcements. They will bill these announcements as we're gonna show you gameplay, and then you get one gameplay video to start, and then 4 announcement trailers that have no gameplay. And then you get one more gameplay, and then 4 more. And I like Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I don't think we saw a single bit of gameplay from it. I think it was all cinematics.
All cinematic.
I don't understand why we're pushing more cinematics after an announcement was already made prior in the week for the game. So it wasn't breaking news. If it was, this is the launch of it, this is the first time we're talking about it. Okay, cool. I get that. Thumbs up. Yeah. You know, I'm all for it. But it's a cinematic live stream, and you're showing more trailers. I don't understand. The new Yakuza game, though, we saw some cinematics from it. It looks incredible on the Series X. I've never played the Yakuza series, but now I'm kind of interested to play them. I didn't know anything about them before this. There is a new option in the Microsoft games, which I don't even know if it's an option really. Maybe that's not the right word. It's a new feature, we'll say, for the games, and this was billed throughout the stream and kind of announced. This is the first time I've heard about it. I don't know if this is the first official announcement of it, but Microsoft's new smart delivery system is going to change the game, as it were. No pun intended, really, there. But you can buy a game. Now, this works both ways. So let's say there is a game that comes out. Like, I don't want to use Madden as the example because that's a little different. But let's say there is like Cyberpunk 2077. Let's say it comes out and you want to play it right away on your Xbox One and you don't have an Xbox Series X. You go and buy the game on the Microsoft Store. You're not going and buying the physical copy. We're talking about the digital copy. So you go out and buy the digital copy on your Xbox One. You can play it right away. And then, let's say a month later, you upgrade to the Series X. Well, with Smart Delivery, you already own that game on the Series X and get the full Series X version of that game. And that works both ways. If you have let's say you have a Series X in the living room, and that's where you do a lot of your gaming, because you got the bigger TV in the living room kind of thing, and that's where, you have that experience. And you still have your Xbox One, and you moved it into the bedroom because you use it for streaming or something in there, which is, what a lot of people do with the other hardware. You can then play that game that you were playing on the Series X on the Xbox One version. So it goes both ways with that, which I think is fantastic. I
That's
haven't heard
awesome.
yet. I gotta believe that they will integrate the PC version as well, since they already have with the Game Pass that it goes all those different directions. I gotta believe it's the same thing. It's that synergy that Microsoft is in a unique place to offer that Sony really can't, because they don't offer that on the PC version. They can do it through that PlayStation Share. What is it? Game Share, or I can't remember the name of it. Yeah, but there's a streaming version of the PlayStation version. They could do that, but still, I mean, the fact that it's Microsoft and it's already built into Windows is a big, advantage for Microsoft moving forward on that. Now, you did mention the Madden trailer, and Madden looks awesome. It as it always does, and they couldn't have picked a better person to be on the cover and promote this title. But the Madden, you will get the same way. It's just not part of smart delivery. This is EA doing EA things because
it's EA.
Because they're precious and they need to do things their own way. Apparently, I don't understand. I mean, everybody kind of knows when you say EA, it just makes you kind of cringe a little bit. Ugh, EA.
Yep.
Yeah,
well,
at least they're offering.
They're on their own world.
I'm actually shocked that they are offering this and not making you buy it again.
It's crazy. Madden, until like Overwatch came out, Madden was like the one game I bought every year, and like I always kind of hated that first year of the new consoles because Madden comes out in August, so I would buy the Xbox 360 version in August, and then around Christmas time I would get the One X, and then the first thing I would do is buy Madden for it. So spending $120 on a game that's going to piss me off and I'm going to talk crap on every time I talk about it in a month always kind of made me mad. But now this actually makes sense.
Yeah, you're essentially spending $120 on the same game for essentially one copy, because once you own it on the on the new console, you're probably not going to play it on the other one for the most part. Nope. I mean, you may at some point, but this just makes that transition that much better, and it's kind of what
logical. It makes sense.
We're seeing this moving forward too with these new streaming platforms, the cloud gaming stuff coming through, where you can play that. You get the same experience everywhere, and you can play it on all these different these devices and places. So I'm excited to see how this works going forward, and we'll have to see. I'm ready for this thing to come out, man. I've got my money ready. Just take my money, Microsoft. Give it to me.
Exactly. I do want to say, though, I agree with you 100% about when they say gameplay reveal, and it's just trailer after trailer and cinematics. The best the game will ever look is in a cinematic.
Yeah!
So it's like, you get me hype, and yes, I love this, and then you see the gameplay, and it's like, I want to see the gameplay because I know the game will never look as good as it does in a cinematic.
I don't even think we saw Madden gameplay.
I had to watch this video like 3 times.
Was there like 3 frames of it?
It's literally like Patrick Mahomes rolling out of the pocket, him diving and reaching the ball as he's falling out of bounds, and I'm like, oh, this is okay. So instead of gameplay and how it'll look when you're on the field, it'll be that clip right there will be in the loading screen. When they go through all these beautiful rollouts, and like in Madden 20, you press A once the game loads up, and then it loads in slowly, and you get to hear Rick Ross rapping in the background, and
as he does.
It's all these great highlight plays, and the game looks so clean, and the game looks so flawless, and then that's not what you see when you're actually on the field. So,
right, and that's what we care about. That's what
exactly.
We want. I don't understand how these companies haven't keyed in on that yet. I guess it's the marketing department that thinks, oh, it's got to look the best it can possibly look. But as a consumer, I want to see how it looks when I play it, because that's where the time's invested.
Yep. So,
it's like buying a car that just looks nice and drives like a piece of crap. Like you're not gonna buy if you go and test drive it and it just it'll only go 5 miles an hour and it rattles all over the place. You're not gonna buy that thing because it looks good. Like,
exactly.
it still needs to be a car. Like,
uh, so it's a weird thing. So I never understood it. I hope moving forward, these companies and developers kind of go to that. Like, don't say gameplay reveal if it's a cinematic and a screenshot of the game, because that's not a gameplay trailer.
no, not at all.
We got to be smarter people. We got to call them out for it. Sometimes calling people out makes them change their ways. So hopefully in the future we can get that. But exciting things coming with the Xbox Series X, and PS4 will be coming along, or PS5 will be coming out soon and showing their stuff, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm sure they will.
They can't let Microsoft ride this wave for too long.
Oh no, can't have that.
So it is time to talk about the big show right now, which is Friday Night Overwatch. Another two strong weeks back to back since the show and the recap didn't get talked about last week, as we talked about earlier. So it is rolling around strongly. We had a doubleheader last week. We had a doubleheader this week. Just another reminder, captains, schedule those game times on Friday nights in those time slots of like 7:30, 9:30. That way you can get on the stream and get covered. It's great exposure. The Twitch chat, for what I got to see for Friday, was popping off.
Yeah.
Just remember, don't take everyone's toxic comments to heart, because that is what people on Twitch chat like to do.
Wait, people
but
in
in
Twitch
week
chat are
6,
toxic?
they're a little toxicity. Just
Oh man,
just
the
a
room's
splash.
hold on, the room's spinning. Okay.
Who would have thought that? Who would? I never heard anything negative on Twitch. How about that?
No.
It's great. It's a great, friendly,
full of positivity.
family-oriented place. Yeah. In week 6, we had Celestial Star go 4-0 over Ignition Flare, and in game 2, Double Doinkers won 4-0 over Seattle Peaks, which we talked about last week as one of the
I broke
best
it down
games in the multi-tier tournament. All those dudes and ladies are from Seattle.
Yes.
That's phenomenal. It's a fantastic name.
Also, best beans in the business. I'm not gonna let that die. I'm not gonna let the
That's
Seattle
right.
Peaks coffee shop die.
That's right.
That needs to happen.
Best beans in the business. We didn't get the hashtag out last week, but if you do, I hope they have a Twitter or an Instagram. If you ever see them on social media, just hashtag best beans in the business, and then hashtag DJ Skate Action, because this man coined the phrase last week.
Yes.
That's for sure. And last week, or Friday night, week 7, we had Crazy 88's 4 over Apollo Tier 4, and Pro Throws won 4-0 over Golden Hour, and Pro Throws improves to 6-1 with that win. Pro Throws is I think this is their 3rd or 4th tournament that CGL has done. Well, CGL Overwatch tournament that they've participated in.
Mm-hmm.
So good to see a familiar name
in
the winner column.
Moved up too, weren't they like tier 1 2
Yeah.
seasons ago or something? Yeah, like they
they were one of the
community.
bottom. Yep, going, and they're kind of like Danny DeVito in a way, or Danny DeVito.
Whoa, whoa!
He went from the Penguin to Frank Reynolds. Come on, that is a great
Junior.
career jump for Danny DeVito.
for those older folks that remember that him and was it him and Arnold Schwarzenegger in Junior where he or no
Yes.
twins, was it twins that they were
Twins,
Yeah.
twins, yes.
in? Junior was the one when he was pregnant or something when Arnold Schwarzenegger was pregnant.
Oh, Arnie.
Yeah. Oh, the 90s were the 80s and 90s were
It's
a
a wild
wild time. Oh my gosh, you kids don't even know.
No,
But
no,
yeah.
no.
I should have brought the broom out because we had nothing but sweeps the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
With the 4-0s.
Sweep City.
I mean, it's a great production. Still, I don't say that just because I'm a part of it. I wasn't on this week's production. I decided to take a backseat just kind of voluntarily. We had Chiss, who has done a lot of Apex broadcasting for us too in the past, and he expressed interest when I was going to throw him in possibly last week in that spot that Swift took. He seemed really excited to be a part of it, so this week I wanted to take a backseat and let him kind of get his chance to try it out.
He's a gentleman.
Spread that out. Yeah, just hell of a guy. If you don't follow him, go follow him. It's on Twitter. It's me, Chis, CHIS. So it's like Chris, but without an R. So that's why he's Chis. But he did a great job filling in for his first time on Friday Night Overwatch. They did a fantastic job as usual. I was actually in the chat basically the whole time, chatting it up, giving my insights as well, so that I was still kind of a part of it, running some polls. That was a new thing that I decided to throw in because I have that ability, was to run a poll so that we could also get the Twitch chat's vote on who they think was going to win. Since we do that prediction segment, I thought it'd be nice to, get the audience vote in there.
That's a very smart idea.
That's what you see on all these big productions anyways. What is the Twitter crowd or whatever thinks. So that's kind of our way of implementing it on the fly. And I thought it was fairly well received. We got, more action coming up this week. For the scheduling of those games, I want to put this out here. This is a PSA. I swear I need to just full up on my face with a PSA reminder at the bottom. I don't have that production going on right now, but this is what I want from team captains. If you want to be on Friday Night Overwatch, a couple criteria. One, if we haven't covered you before on Friday Night Overwatch or the team you're playing, you instantly get elevated. So you go to the top of the list.
Top tier.
Yes, you get put in that S tier. Well, I guess that's A tier. S tier would be if you schedule your start time. Now, this is Eastern Standard Time. It needs to be a 7 p.m. or a 9 p.m. start. We are getting a ton of games that are getting scheduled at 8 p.m. We can't do a doubleheader if all the games are at 8 p.m. If we do 7 p.m. and 9 p.m., it's already set up for the doubleheader. Now, we could do an 8 p.m. and a 10 p.m. that we did this week. We just had to ask one of the teams to adjust their start times, and we've had to do that the last couple weeks, is kind of approach a bunch of the captains, say, hey, can you guys move this here or there just to get them on the stream? So here's what you need to do. I can almost guarantee you will get covered. We want 7 p.m., 9 p.m. We got 2 weeks left to do this. We want to get you on Friday Night Overwatch. We want to get as many of these teams out there as we can and get them covered. So 7 p.m., 9 p.m. I'm going to keep saying it throughout the rest of the show just so it gets like drilled into your head at different times. We're going to be talking about the playoff format, and I'm just going to 7 p.m., 9 p.m. That's all you need to know. Just remember that.
It'll be like...
It's a subliminal message. Like, it's just drilled in.
7 and 9. 7 and 9.
Yeah, then later tonight, you'll see your clock turn over to 7 o'clock. Be like, man, why is that weird? There's something about 7. I don't...
7 to 9. Come on, everybody. 8 p.m. is the popular time slot. I don't know what it is. Like, all of our games Arc Flash Tier 1, Sunday, 8 p.m.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know why,
I think
but
my last 3 have been Saturday night, 8 p.m.
Yeah. 8 p.m. is the magic hour, I guess.
It really is. It's Overwatch time. That's what that is.
Hats off to 8 p.m. You are S tier.
Yes, you are. That is prime real estate.
Friday Night Overwatch rolling along. Again, shout out to Chis. He did phenomenal in his debut on Friday Night Overwatch. Shout out to all the teams that won. Moving strong. I was glad we got to see some Doomfist play too.
Yeah, from my boy Milkoy. I didn't even mention it. Milkoy, a former teammate of mine, back in my Tier 2 days, getting to pop off on the Doomfist. He's nutty. That dude is nutty.
That's where that name was. I was like, why is Milkoy like just in my head? I know this dude. This dude.
Yes, and this is why you know him. You may know him from the Doomfist from seeing it covered, but what you may even more know him from, there was a clip that was on the CGL website that was on Kings Row, if I remember right. It was one of the promo images we showed for the Overwatch thing. That was from my team's game, and it actually had Roos, our DPS player, doing a Death Blossom. But the thing was, it was off of a Milkoy shatter, because on Kings Row we were running Milkoy on the Reinhardt. And it was his viewpoint as it was coming in. He shatters, and then we get the Death Blossom through it. It was like a 6K. So that may be where you remember him from, too, because that name is on there. It was on the main CGL website for a long time.
He's the big play machine, dude. That's why the Doomfist
plays.
Works.
Yep. He just goes in there like a fighting game is what it is. He's playing Mortal Kombat.
He's playing MK.
Yeah, he's just MKing all the way through Overwatch.
Yo, Oh, that is absolutely fantastic. Homeboy popped off. That's awesome. Um, all right, so we're on the topic of Overwatch. We just broke down Friday night Overwatch for you. Remember, 7 and 9 p.m. EST Friday. And if neither you or your opponent have been streamed, it bumps you up the list. Just FYI. Yep. We had another announcement on. It was Friday. Friday. The last 2 weeks has had the hero ban announcement and this announcement. The playoff format, one of the most asked about
Playoffs?
Topics. Huge
Kidding me?
more. It's always, especially around this. Actually, from week one, people want to know playoffs and standings. But now you're into the part where you need to know how you're looking if you're like that 5th to 10th spot in your tier. So Mr. Headrammer came out with this announcement, and let's break it down. Teams per tier that make the playoffs. In tier 1, we'll just go down the list. Xbox. Oh God, I can't speak English now. Xbox. The Xbox North America. That region. Tier 1. The top 7 make the playoffs. The top seed in the tier gets a first round bye. That means if you are 2 through 7, you are competing in that first round of the playoffs. In tier 2, the top 7 for each division, with each division's 1 seed getting a first round bye. The division bracket winners play each other for the finals. That is like your NFL and NHL hybrid.
That is a great idea.
Great.
Whoever came up with that must be a super smart guy.
You know what? I think I know that guy. I think the second that guy typed that suggestion out, and thought of that, I pushed away from my computer desk at work, and I said, "It's perfect."
We ought to get him on this podcast.
We really do. Maybe we can interview him at the end here.
Maybe.
Division or tier 3 for Xbox NA. Top 7 for each division, with each division higher seed getting a first round bye. Division bracket winners play each other for finals. That's the same as tier 2. I'll tell you, last tournament we did, tier 3 was the only massive tier that we had, and they did it. That whole playoff was so fun to keep track of and fun to watch, because it's 2 worlds of the same skill rating of teams. There's so much talent there, and it's literally a battle and a knockout and a drag out fight until you get the champion. So those 2 divisions, tier 2 and tier 3, definitely going to be ones to watch out for. But tier 4, 5 and 6 are the same, just like tier 1. The top 7 make the playoffs. First seed overall getting the first round bye. Teams 2 through 7 play in that first round. Xbox EU, let's move along to that. Tier 2, the top 5, with the last 2 playing for the spot. How about that? That's basically your Major League Baseball playoffs, where you get 2 wild card teams.
Yeah.
You get 3 teams that are locks. You have 2 wild card teams. They battle for that last spot. And there are times where one of those teams that play in that wild card spot end up winning the whole thing. So just because you have to battle for that spot, don't think you're going to slaughter if you win.
Yeah, and you know what would be great is if we could do it in the form of the MLB play-in, where it's just a 1-game play-in. So we just do a 1-game play-in, best of 5, kind of like we do for the tiebreaker. It's a best of 5 on a King of the Hill map. That would be awesome.
Dude, oh man, that Li Shang or Ilios, sign me up all day long, man. Come on.
Li Shang is always the choice for that, I think.
Yep.
I think it's always just,
you have to.
We just go to Li Shang and
yeah.
the best team gets in.
Plenty of wars have been won on Li Shang, that's for sure.
Oh
yeah. For tier 3 in Xbox EU, it's top 7 make the playoffs. First seed overall gets the first round bye. And tier 4, just like tier 2, top 5 with the last 2 battling out for the wild card spot. Again, fun to see there. And tier 6, top 7 with the first seed getting the first round bye. Now on to good old PlayStation 4. In the North American region, Tier 2, top 7 make the playoffs, first seed getting a first round bye. Tier 3, the same way, along with Tier 4. Tier 5, the top 5 with the last 2 playing for the wild card. And Tier 6, top 7, first overall getting the first round bye. And in PS4, playoff teams for Tier 1, the top 2. That's awesome. Just the finals, so that's great. Those teams are going to have time to prepare for that.
Yes, they will.
So
They're going to have
great
like
to
3
see.
weeks to prepare for that.
Yep. Whew. Tier 3, your top 5. Oh, actually, 3, 5, and 6 in PlayStation 4 EU. How about this? Top 5 with the last 2 battling for the final spot. This playoff is going to be popping, as the kids say.
Oh, yeah.
Or as the Philadelphia kids say, slap. I don't
It
understand
slaps,
children.
son.
It's you got wild cards, you got buys. It's going to be a fun time. Make sure you battle it out for that spot. Sift through the standings, get those playoff scenarios in your head, and hopefully you find your way in to the teams that do make the playoffs. Good luck. This will be awesome. In addition, though, not just the playoff scenarios were announced in this announcement. The additional tournament information came out. Goats, how about this? The month of July, we could be getting baseball back. We could maybe be getting basketball back. You know what else is coming back? Goats. Nothing is more American than goats, and a goats tournament is being planned for July. Hey, as a Reinhardt main and a guy that just likes to swing the hammer and not really worried about my shield all that much, I love goats. Goats was great. That was the prime of my Overwatch career, so I'm happy for that. And looks like we're aiming for a fall tournament around September. There's going to be a little tweak to how that, like a tournament like that, is laid out. So there's something going to be in the works there. So just for the Overwatch community, I know last year we basically took a year off from the first multi-tier tournament to this one. So we're keeping that Overwatch pumping for our community there. So hopefully some fun things come out of that.
Mm-hmm.
Any thoughts on that, Skate? Anything you're excited for?
Man, I'm ready to get these playoffs up and going and get to covering them, because I think we're going to see, I actually predict we will see an influx of games getting covered in the playoffs.
Yes,
I know
sure.
I will be freed up probably a little bit more so that I can cover a few more of them, and I can cover the PlayStation side. I know when it comes to the playoffs, I am going to prioritize myself to get more PlayStation stuff covered, because I want that out there. I want the folks to be able to enjoy the PlayStation side and get them some time in the spotlight. It's just unfortunate the way the streamers have come about, that we just haven't had the staff to cover that much PS4, and the schedules just haven't lined up. But we're trying. We are trying. I want the community to know we haven't forgot about you, PlayStation. We also have not forgot about EU. I had something come up this weekend yesterday, and I was going to cover a PS4 EU game, actually. Ooh. So I was this close to covering it. So it happens. But yeah, I'm excited to get it going, and the GOATS tournament I think will be fun. I'm curious to see how it goes over and kind of how that works. If anybody needs a Moira one trick for their GOATS team, let me know. I'm available.
He's the man with the plan.
I'm available. I can pump out the heals when you need them. So, yeah, and I'm curious to see what other exciting stuff we have for upcoming tournaments. I know Headrammer has hinted at it a few times, possibly maybe even a format change. He hinted at maybe like an open division style tournament. So I'll be curious to see how that works. Just stay tuned, folks. There's going to be a lot of news on the Overwatch front, I think, moving forward in the next few months. Hopefully, we don't have to wait too long for some more Overwatch content.
Yeah. So, Overwatch, it's not just stopping there. We have a couple tournaments going on over the weekend, last week and this weekend. Last weekend was the Halo 2v2 tournament, which had a phenomenal showing. I thought the production was fantastic. The overall success of the tournament was fantastic. Both teams that made it to the finals came in undefeated, hadn't even dropped a map, and looked like Uranus ended up taking that over Scary Saiyan. Uranus won $300. Scary Saiyan won $150, and the third place team, the Bungalows, they walked away with $50. This was brought to us in partnership with Paradise Halo. They came in with a lot of stuff. That content over there on their YouTube in general is just great to check out.
Absolutely.
They break it down for you, and I thought the overall broadcast did a great job of bringing like a guy that like me that didn't do much, that wasn't involved much with Halo growing up. I felt like I can watch that as an esport, and I think that's a very important thing going forward. So hats off to them. I hope we do more of this.
Yeah, I hope we do too. And I thought it was pretty well received. Everybody that watched it seemed to think it was a pretty enjoyable broadcast. We had Scary Saiyan versus Uranus in the finals, as you said, and Scary Saiyan had actually got their in their semifinal match looked extremely dominant. I think they won one match like 25-3 or something, so they looked almost unbeatable. And then Uranus comes in and actually gets the dub, but 3-0, it was a lot closer than a 3-0 because I think each game was decided within four kills. I think it's a race to 25. I don't remember if it's win by 2. I think it's win by 2 in Halo. So it was like 25-21, 25-23 in almost all of those. So it was very, very tightly contested and very entertaining to watch. And like you said, we integrated some of Paradise Halo's own content into there for the break. So you got to learn a little bit about some of the strategies. And those guys, those videos are top notch. If you are a Halo player, have watched some of the competitive Halo at all, you want to get into competitive Halo, definitely go check out Paradise Halo's channel. They've got all the videos so that you get that groundwork and know exactly what's going on and what the strategies are that you can use in your own games.
Yeah, very entertaining stuff there, and congratulations to both those teams for balling out.
Oh yeah.
And Uranus, congratulations on the grand prize of $300, and thank you Paradise Halo for getting involved with this and helping this. It turned out to be a great event. They had like 64 teams sign up.
Oh yeah.
Which more than doubled what the November tournament did. That's phenomenal. Thank you to the community helping that grow. That's fantastic. And this weekend, Apex Legends New Dawn League, it's into the final weekend. The 16-team playoff bracket started yesterday.
They played down to 4 yesterday.
Down to 4.
I had it on in the background while I was doing some stuff, trying to track it, because that's a lot to kind of take in. So I was working on some stuff in the house, getting some cleaning done, and just kind of had it on the big screen and checking in every once in a while. So yeah, it looked like it was great stuff happening yesterday.
And today, I believe they're doing the Final Four, and a champion to be crowned today. Woo!
Yeah, and actually, by the time you see this, it will have already happened. So, congratulations to
insert
team name here.
Congratulations to the winner of that tournament. Don't worry, on the Breakdown podcast next week, we will talk about your victory.
We sure will. We'll get you some love next week. I promise you that. As well,
so
I can't promise that because it might not save. So I'm not going to go out on that limb again.
Yeah, true. That's a good point. That is a good point. But that's today. That's already happened. Phenomenal stuff there. Congratulations, Apex rolling strong. That's awesome. And also, we're going to have an Injustice 2 tournament that was announced. And it was also said if this is pretty successful, it could lead in a bigger tournament going forward.
Yeah.
But that is Saturday, May 16th, PlayStation 4. What's
next
that?
Weekend.
500 or
yeah, it's 500
next weekend. Wow.
That's 5 Benjamins. We got 5
bands.
stacks on it. Let's go.
5
I
stacks.
can't wait for this. I'm curious to check this out and see how well it's received by the community, coming off of, the Mortal Kombat stuff that we have had in the past with the console Combat 2 being the huge success that it was. All the same players. I'm expecting to see a lot of the same names in this Injustice 2, because a lot of your Mortal Kombat players come through Injustice as well. They kind of work their way up through that into MK10 and MK11. So I can't express how excited I am. I will probably be a part of the production in somehow, in some way. I may just be running all the fancy switches in the background, but I will definitely be checking this out next weekend. I can't wait. And like you said, Nips hinted that maybe if this goes over well, maybe we'll see an Injustice League of some sort coming through, kind of, in the console Combat 2 vein. So we'll have to see. I'm curious.
Yeah, I am too. I'm very excited for this. Console Combat actually got me back into Mortal Kombat. So now I'm definitely very excited to check this out. Hopefully some of the same faces and same names show up, and it should be a good time, and could be going
next weekend.
Moving forward with that. Next weekend, check it out on Twitch.
Next Saturday, 6 p.m.
That'll be 6 p.m. and I'll take you into Saturday night. What better way to do that? Watch some fight, watch some FGC action, and hey, you'll see some superheroes. So
you absolutely will see superheroes next Saturday. That's cool
true, because that's
the best part.
I think the only other two are Raiden and Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat make an appearance in Injustice. But if you play Mortal Kombat, why would you want to play Raiden and Sub-Zero in another game?
Yeah, I mean, when you could be Batman.
You can be Batman. You can be Joker. Although you can be him in MK11.
Facts.
So cool though. You can't get enough Joker though, so it's okay. And how about this? Skate, I just saw you
quickly adding
here.
because I just realized it wasn't on the rundown.
Oh boy. All right. Well, we are announcing a new tournament for Call of Duty Warzone. May 23rd, $150 in prize pool. The first one was a great success. I'm happy that we're just jumping right back into it too. So get ready to battle in the gulag, because we are coming for you. That is May 23rd. So hats off to the production staff here. This wasn't even scripted, but they're pumping out these events, and it's
every weekend. That's the plan. That's the plan moving forward, folks. We want something every weekend, so that if you're at home and you got nothing to do, just flip on the old Twitch on the CGO1, and we've got some kind of action at some point on there for you to check out. We want to be that regular home for you to check out this console content that we have. I'm excited to check this out again. I thought the last one was fun. I checked out a little bit of it. Corbeck and Virus on the comms last time. If you guys don't know, Virus is Swift's brother. So
yes, he is.
Yeah, this is the first time I had seen him work, and I thought he was fantastic. He absolutely crushed it. He just showed up and knocked it out. So good on him for stepping up, and his knowledge of Warzone was tremendous. I'm gonna have to queue with him. I think I'm gonna pull Swift and see if I can't queue with him, just so I can learn some of these ins and outs of Warzone, so that maybe if needed, I can hop into that. I just know it from the perspective of pew pew, get kills, win games.
Yeah, so that'll be freaking great to see. So be on the lookout for that, and good luck to everyone that's going to sign up with that. So much content coming out to get you into summer the right way. And now we're into all the news is out the way, all the announcements are out of the way. Now it's two dudes with coffee on a Sunday morning getting ready to talk about sports, because we're both sportsmen. And the NFL schedule came out on Thursday. Done a lot of digging in, that there's going to be a lot of fun games every single week, as there always is in the NFL. Skate, did you look at the Colts? How do you think they're going to do?
I'm not gonna lie. I did check it out. But do we have 17 games now? Is that what I'm seeing?
Next year is
Okay.
they add the 17th game.
Next
This
year.
year, the 7th playoff team was added. So,
So it
like-
will. Oh wow!
like
It's almost like they
Overwatch.
stole an idea. Huh?
ah,
Ah.
Roger Goodell's probably on like a tier. He's a tier 1 DPS player.
Roger Goodell. He's a tier 1 Junkrat player. Is what Roger Goodell is. I'm gonna tell you that right
he
now.
Definitely is. So, just like our Overwatch tournament, the 7 teams from each conference will make the playoffs. The first seed gets the bye, and teams 2 through 7 play each other in the wild card round to move on to the divisional round. Skate, I did look at the Colts schedule, just in case. I know it's a wild time right now, so I was like, maybe I didn't get to look at it. I
did
have
not.
both the Colts and the Eagles going 10-6,
I can see
which with 7 teams per conference making, I think both of our teams make it to the playoffs this year.
I think that is fair. That is a fair assessment from both of those teams. I haven't looked at the true schedule for the Colts, but knowing the schedule as it has been, and what people don't understand, there's actually a formula for the schedule. You know, well, up until next year, I don't know how it's going to change for next year for the 17th game, but up until then, there was a perfect formula where you know who you're playing years in advance. You would essentially, for 16 games, you would play your conference opponents twice, which is 6 of the games. So you had your 3 other opponents, twice is 6. The 10 other games, those were 4 teams from another division in your conference. So maybe if you were in the AFC East, you would play everybody in the AFC West. That's 4 teams, so that gets you to 10. You then had 4 opponents from an opposing conference's division. So, like, you would play everybody in the NFC East one time. So there's 4 other games that gets you to 14.
Mm-hmm.
Your other 2 opponents were the same team that finished in your position in the other 2 divisions within your conference. It's very confusing when you think about it, but once you understand it, it's like, oh, this actually makes sense. There's, a formula to it. That being said, the Colts finished 3rd in that division. So they get a 3rd place schedule. So they get to play the other teams that finished 3rd in their respective conferences, which weren't very good. I'm going to be honest. They were not very good. I think so I haven't seen the schedule off the top of my head. I guess that would be Cleveland, Miami, and San Diego. I don't know who the 3rd was.
I think so.
So
yes,
it's a fairly,
I believe you are right.
It's a fairly light schedule there, if I had to guess. So I wouldn't be surprised. I think, given that 3rd place schedule, I think the Colts are looking good. The Eagles, they have to play a 1st place schedule? Did they win the division? They went to playoffs, right? Yeah.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, you guys went to the playoffs. I remember because I think I won some money off you guys in the playoffs because of the way the line was. Like, I think you guys lost, but you covered. So, I think you guys made me some money. So, hey, look at that.
Oh, yes.
But, so you guys have a 1st place schedule.
Team. Yep.
So, now you guys have a bit of a wild card in the NFC now. Everything goes through Brady now.
I know. It's very weird.
You're welcome. Welcome to the last 20 years of my life.
I think the NFC South is going to be a very weird division.
Oh my god, that is going to be hell.
Because you have Breeze. You have the top 2 are strong, Tampa and New Orleans, but I think Carolina, they're going to suck.
They're scrappy. They're going to be scrappy.
They spent all 7 picks that they had on defensive players. Matt Rule's going to build a defensively strong team there. So they're going to be like 5-11 probably.
If anybody can figure out the Atlanta Falcons, please let me know because I've been trying ever since the Super Bowl, and I still can't figure them out.
They have new uniforms, so maybe new look, new me. You're the Atlanta Falcons.
I mean, for those that may not know, this is a team that probably with 4 or 5 weeks left in the season last year, took the entire coaching staff and just changed everybody around. They didn't fire people and hire new ones. They just said, okay, you're in charge of this now. You're in charge of this. They just shuffled everybody up and then started winning games.
They,
I don't understand. How does that work?
I'm
gonna take my tight ends coach and make him coach the linebackers or something. It's like
they make no sense. They have like this great offense that's old. That's getting old now. The defense, they went super young. Matt Ryan is Matt Ryan. For 4 weeks he'll look like an all-star, and then for 5 weeks he'll look like a crumb. But you have Julio Jones, you have Calvin Ridley.
You've got weapons.
I don't know. They have weapons. You don't know what they're going to be. So they're a wild card in their own division itself. I know the Eagles get the AFC North. So, like Baltimore, we play Baltimore, we play Green Bay, we play New Orleans, we play Seattle. So there's some tough teams there, but I think people are overhyping the Cowboys again here.
You think?
People are overhyping Cleveland a little bit, or Arizona.
I think this is the year Dak crumbles under the pressure.
I think so too, and I don't like Mike
because
McCarthy.
This is essentially his contract year, right? Like he can't sign another franchise tag. Like he has to earn that money. So the pressure's on him. Like he has to go out and perform. So, and I've said it for a long time. I thought everybody else around Dak made Dak look good, but I guess we'll see. I just never saw it in him.
Definitely a prove it year. Nope. I never did. I don't think he's bad.
No, I don't think he is either. Like I think he deserves to be like on a roster somewhere. I just don't think he is the Dallas Cowboys starting quarterback. Like that,
I don't
that
think
position takes a certain
there's
swagger and prestige to it.
Like you have to be able to win a game for your team. All right, and if you're not a sports fan, like, oh yeah, he wins. If they go 9-7, he wins games. Yeah, like case in point, last year, like week 16, they came into Philly to play the Eagles. The Eagles had no wide receivers. They were using practice squad guys. Dallas was struggling a little bit, but they just smacked the Rams. And this was essentially for the division. Dallas had, the top.
Should I go back to counting my money I won from this game?
And the Eagles shut down Ezekiel Elliott and said Dak Prescott beat us, and he couldn't do it.
He couldn't do it.
He couldn't do it. He couldn't do it. And, like, to me, it's not just that game. It's how I feel on Jared Goff, too. If you take everything away, can he beat you? And I don't think I've ever seen Dak Prescott do that. So,
on the flip side, in the 90s, this is just to put it in perspective. When the Cowboys were winning Super Bowls, Troy Aikman, if you took Emmitt Smith away, Troy Aikman would beat you.
Yep.
You had to pick who was going to beat you that day. Like, that's just how it was.
Oh, yeah. And that's how you win championships and get dynasties. Cowboys haven't been there since 1995, but who's counting? So that'll be... NFL's always great, and everything's supposed to start on time. That's good. The Last Dance down to the final 4 episodes. If you aren't a basketball fan, but you know who Michael Jordan is, just watch this.
I think it's just good from a documentary standpoint.
Yep.
If you like documentaries or you want to, you're into that kind of thing. Tiger King swept the nation during this quarantine, but sadly, I think it's the second best, maybe the third best documentary of this year. It swept the nation and had everybody riveted, but I've seen a few more documentary series that I think are better, this being probably the best that I've seen in not just this year but a long time. This is good stuff. I'm still 2 episodes behind, so I've only seen the first 4, so not a lot to add here. So I'm hopefully going to catch up on the last 4, so not a lot of new stuff there, but check it out, guys. You got to
definitely. And also, Korean baseball is on ESPN about 5 days a week now. It's 1 a.m. Eastern time start times for me. So I haven't.
It's borderline unwatchable, but it's sports. I think even ESPN knows that. They're like, here you go.
Oh yeah. They're like,
you asked. Here you go.
Like, I want sports to come back. I don't care if, fans aren't going to be there, but it's hard when I mean, like, I love baseball. I do want to watch some of this just because I missed the game, but it's so hard when you have no connection at all. Um,
Yeah.
I think like 5 old Phillies players are playing in Korea though, so
Yeah, there you
I'll
go.
have to look at rosters.
There you go.
But it's something if you're up that early, but I don't know.
I'm not
It's
making a
just
point to watch it.
we need our sports back.
It's on
in.
Twitch too, I think, at certain times too. There's some weird Korean baseball on Twitch. They were showing women's pro soccer or something on Twitch yesterday, and it was a stadium full of fans. I don't know where this was.
Whoa!
I know. I just kind of it was on the launch page on Twitch, and I just kind of stared at my screen like, what am I watching right now? It was like some kind of like World Cup qualifier type thing going on somewhere. I don't know where the hell this was. It was a stadium full of people.
Russian?
I'm like, all right.
You're doing you. Have at it.
Yep, you do you, man.
It's a weird time. Oh wow.
Welcome to Plague World.
Yep. Oh crap. So, dude, as we wrap up here, I do want to say Happy Mother's Day to any mama out there, or anyone that knows a mother. Of course you do.
I hope so. I hope you know a mother.
I hope you know a mother. Mother's Day, great time to reflect on your mom and all the loved ones in your life, and just to appreciate them for what they do. So, do want to give a shout out there, and I hope everyone has a great day and gets the love that they deserve all the time, but especially today.
Yeah, I'm
Love
gonna steal the stage from you for a second, just because I want to kind of. She won't watch it because she doesn't know how this works, but I do want to dedicate this show to my own mom. A lot of people don't know this, and this is kind of a look behind the curtain. But yes, I'm going to be going over to my mom's here in a little bit to spend Mother's Day with her. It's the first time that a lot of us have gotten to see her or spend time with her during the quarantine, and right before the COVID-19 outbreak, as it was kind of starting, she actually got diagnosed with breast cancer, and the surgery that she had for the cancer actually happened the week that everybody went into like lockdown. So we haven't really got to see her or spend time with her, and since Indiana has lifted all that stuff, we get to go see her and spend some time with her. She's doing great. Everything seems to be good. They think they got all of it out, so it's not
that's fantastic, dude.
A doom and gloom thing. So seems to be doing well. She's going through the radiation stuff now, so she's having a rough go of it. But that's when those people need you the most, is when they're going through that tough time. So that's why we're recording early too. I was like, nope, I'm going to see Mom today. I don't care what's going on, even if we skip the episode. So yeah, that was kind of the deal. So yeah, that's
phenomenal, brother. My love to her as well. That's fantastic. Enjoy that time, and hey, just check us out on YouTube. When this premieres 8 p.m. We're on Spotify. We're on iTunes. Anywhere you can get podcasts. Check all the social media channels for Console Gaming League. We're everywhere: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Just send the love, follow, like some of the stuff. Keep an eye out for all of our broadcasts that will ping in the Discord server and on a Twitch, obviously, at twitch.tv/CGL1. And thank you for checking us out. We love doing this for you, and thank you for helping us grow and continuing this project. We love you. Skate, you are the man. I hope you have a phenomenal day, brother.
Thank you, sir.
And we'll be back.
Hopefully we'll see you guys next week.
That's right. We'll be back next week. I have confidence in us. For Skate, I'm Witty. We'll see you next week. Have a good one.